Evolution in the natural world is a much talked about and relevant topic, especially regarding humans and other animals, and yet the evolution of plant species and adaptation of their features is less researched. Evolution can be considered the change in the characteristics of species over several generations, and many species will evolve physical and genetic adaptations in order to survive. There are many different ways that plants have evolved to succeed better in our changing world, including the evolution of seeds, water-saving structures in arid environments, and root and leaf size. Today we are discussing plant facilitation. Interactions between different plants are often classified in a number of ways, most commonly as either facilitation, competition, or neutral interactions. Plant facilitation is a positive association between two different plants, in which one benefits the other in many ways, providing nutrients through the soil, shade and shelter, and often a greater access to water, all of which acts to enhance the fitness of the beneficiary plant. Plant facilitation occurs in a variety of environments and can occur between plants of the same or different species, and are particularly important in areas under abiotic and biotic stress. Facilitation often takes place through nurse plants, aka larger trees or shrubs sheltering smaller ones and encouraging their growth. We hope to explore the adaptive relationships that occurred between native and exotic plants, and whether or not there was a significant difference in facilitative effects made by either of them, or any facilitative effects made at all. Adjacent plant growth is not necessarily an indicator of a facilitative plant relationship, and so this project aimed to determine if each larger tree appeared to have any significant impact on the plant growth beneath it, and if this varied between native and exotic species. I surveyed 3 different locations across Sydney, in Centennial Park, La Perouse, and Little Bay. I began by identifying 2 species of trees, one native and one invasive, in each location. From there, I placed a 50 cm by 50 cm quadrat beneath a tree and visually surveyed the percentage of plant cover, litter cover, and bare ground within the quadrat. I undertook this step beneath 10 native trees and 10 exotic trees in each location. Additionally, as my control, I surveyed the plant litter and bare cover in the open area of each location, again doing 10 repeats. From this methodology, I was able to get 3 sets of data with 30 data points for each. Following the fieldwork, I analyzed the data in RStudio in order to determine whether or not there was any significant facilitative impacts by either native or exotic plants. The results of this experiment showed that there was no significant difference between plant cover beneath native and exotic tree species over my 3 locations. The plant cover was highest beneath the native trees overall, however not significantly different from the exotic or open. So what does this mean? These results suggest that the origin of the tree may not have any impact on its ability to facilitate shrubs and plants in its vicinity, aka the facilitative effects of a plant are not impacted by whether or not they are native or exotic. This may also imply that plant cover beneath a tree does not relate necessarily to the facilitation impacts of the tree above it. The implications of this are important as they suggest that at these 3 sites, there was no clear evidence of plants co-developing and co-evolving. However, there is definitely room for further study, potentially through identification of the various shrubs in the plant cover beneath the trees and whether or not they were native or exotic. While this project did not show any significant difference between plant growth beneath native and exotic shrubs when compared with the open, there were still benefits to this study. Understanding the potential of species to facilitate others can be super important in areas such as conservation of native shrub or eradication of invasive species, and this study has shown that neither native and exotic trees will dissipate plant growth beneath them. Further research into the topic of plant facilitation and its relationship to native and exotic species could be very beneficial in conservation programs and in understanding how plants evolve to coexist.